Welcome back to a new episode of the Recreate the Future podcast. Today we have the first version in real life. I have sitting opposite of me Aleš Boem, the designer from from our first artist collaboration, and he has already been mentioned in a previous podcast. So there will be many topics catching up from the previous ones, and I'm really curious for that one. So thanks, Aleš. Thanks for coming over here.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
So this will be a cool episode because Aleš is like one of the most prominent or the most prominent, I don't know, designer in the additive manufacturing space, especially when it comes to selling his own designs and working with commercial licenses. So this will be the field we're gonna have a look into. So, but maybe Aleš, take a minute to give us an overview, like who is Aleš Boem and maybe a bit what's the background?
Yeah, I'm studied regular designer. I was working in design field for many years. I was having my own company for making glasses for many years. I was also a creative director in a furniture company, and I was also working on public furniture to Prague for many years. But in 1 year, during 1 year, actually, I had a free space to start something new, and I really felt this is something that I really want to try try additive manufacturing, to try new materials, try new printers to see if it's possible to design very cool products that people will be able to print at home.
So everyone who wants to get a feeling for your designs, probably the best idea is to go over to boem.store, right?
Yes.
This is basically your direct-to-consumer store for downloading. And I just want to read the introduction you have on there because I really like it and it gives a good feel of where we're going to. Welcome to the incredible world of the future, where what was once mere fantasy has become a thrilling reality. With the advent of 3D printers designed for home use, the need to venture out to stores is a thing of the past. Now, you can effortlessly print your desired products in the comfort of your home. Is that what people are currently already doing with your products?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, some of them are trying to commercialize them without asking. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're going to come to that later. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to give like a feeling of like in what space you're working. So if I want to get a real product from you, how does it work today?
Once again, please.
No, if I want to have like a product from you, currently it's what do I have to do what's the process of or what's the value chain people have to do, which is vastly different to many other designers out there?
Yeah. I've started with just selling the 3D models since the beginning, and still up until this time we still are selling only the 3D models. So everybody who wants to have my product, he actually have to have a printer at home. But this is a very cool thing when you have the printer, because you download the 3D model and you are becoming a co-creator, because you are choosing your material, you are choosing the size of the product, and you can print it as many times as you want, which is also one very cool thing. I think when you are buying a product that can last forever, because if you broke it, you can print it again and print it again and give it as a gift to someone who you like, and give it to your mother or friends or whatever. So it's a very different life of the product that it was before.
So basically the perfect version of decentral manufacturing, because people print it at home. So
yes.
You're not involved into that one. Maybe let's start in the beginning. So where do I currently get the digital files for it? Where do I download? So is it, because I know you have your store, but I think you're also available on some marketplaces, right?
Yeah, I'm also available on Cult 3D, and I'm also starting with Creality Cloud, because I also believe that Creality is a very huge manufacturer, and they built a new platform. So I'm also trying their platform, how it works, and if it's gonna make some kind of sense. But since the beginning, I was having my own personal shop because I wanted to have better connection with my customers and have some kind of private marketplace just for my products. To also my what I do is products for home. Mostly, I was designing products from home, like a traditional home accessories. It should be something like a digital design store, and on Cults there are a lot of different products, very different products. There are a lot of toys and a lot of gadgets, and there are also like a lot of people who are going there for different reasons than for household items. So I decided to go the way that I'm gonna have my own store. So I think most of the customers are buying the products over there. Also because I have more support on my store. If you log in and you download the files, you also have some kind of printing tips.
Yeah, you have this really nice manuals how to print them. We stole the idea from you because we said, yeah, this makes so much sense to just have a brief PDF like recommended settings and all of that. So we had an inspiration from you on there. That makes absolutely sense. And what I think is really outstanding, because people now can't see it, but it's like, how would you describe the design? Because if you look for 3D printed designs on big marketplaces, they look very different than your design language.
Yeah, this is actually something that I was enjoying the most on this project, because for the first time after many years, I was just doing something when I was my own director, and I didn't have any other people, just me. So I had the time and space to create my own design language. That was also something what I was looking for, to have some kind of possibility to find what kind of language is me. And yeah, those last years I realized that I really like the minimalism, and I also like the opposite. I also like maximalism, and I was sometimes like including that in various projects I was doing before. But at this time I was starting like, this is something that I really enjoying, that sometimes I need to design something that is very simple, very clean and functional, and on the other side I want to do something that is very crazy and shows all the possibilities of the technology.
Yeah, I think especially on the minimalism side, like the good example is our project we did together, the Palm Tree Tool Shop, which are very minimalistic tools.
I remember your first reaction when I sent you this.
Okay. What was the reaction?
Was it something like, "Oh, isn't it too simple?"
Yeah, I was expecting something kind of regular.
Yeah.
And then you are showing something to me which looks super simple. In the first moment you think, what is he trying to show me there? It's basically just regular shapes combined together. But after some time, of course, if you dig into it, you see how good it is in terms of a design. And it's the opposite of complex. So it's like super structured. It's like super intelligent at the end of the day. And I can tell you on enable3d.com, they're by far the most downloaded items.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy good.
That works really well. So people really appreciate to find them there, and people really appreciate the ideas of the designs. And as you can see here in our office, sometimes we have the trays standing around because they're just so beautiful. We don't use them as toolboxes, but like design objects. So that's really cool. But I think our project was like probably not the regular case, because for most cases you design yourself, you have an idea, and then you publish the project on the marketplace, and especially on your site. And then what do the typical clients look like, or like the typical customers who download it?
Yeah, I don't actually meet them, so.
No, but My assumption would be they are not the typical
Yes,
Reddit
no,
forum
no, they are-
hobbyists.
Yeah, a lot of them, I think they are not. They are not. I think also in the beginning, a lot of the customers were architects also. It was a very good group, and yeah, people who actually there needs to be people who love this added design value. I think most of my customers are enjoying that there is something more behind the products, and at this time they are also willing to pay more than for the rest of the 3D models.
All right, this brings us already to one of the most interesting questions, because you said paying more. People, especially from the hobby side, who dive into 3D printing, they find everything for free. So you go to Thingiverse, there's not even an option for paying for it. On Enable 3D, for example, we're also providing it for free. But you say they have to pay. So what? It's like absolutely clear, and this is like what we want to dive into, because you're a professional designer.
Yeah, and also I just was taking care about the project. I needed to like cover
the expenses,
cover the expenses.
So
somehow,
what's like the pricing model as of now? Like, because it's very difficult to find a price for a digital product always.
yes, and also my mindset has changed over the last years. Like in the beginning, there was the cults. I think was just starting when I was starting. Also, not starting, but they were starting with having the price tags on the products. And I remember that at the time when I was starting, everything was also for free on cults. Almost everything. There were only a few products that some kind of price tag. And we were starting with some kind of prices. We felt it makes some kind of sense. We were comparing it to for example, to IKEA. I was thinking about will people are there people who will be able to pay this if they need to produce it at home? I was always questioning myself: is it possible or not? And for the first weeks, nothing was happening. So I was like, is there something wrong with the products, or the people are not there? So we did a 1-week test where we put everything for free. We had everything for free, and immediately everybody started downloading. I was like, okay, so people want the product. That's a good sign. People wants the product. So we came back to the prices, but in the beginning it was very, very low. We also it was something nobody was doing at the time, so we didn't know how many people actually are. I was trying to somehow find information how much users there could be, or to have some kind of idea. But I didn't get any answer. So we just tried. We had to try it and to see how many people are there. And then for many years we were playing with the prices. And at this time, I know after the years, the digital file is more than the physical product. So I think it makes sense that the product is it could be actually more expensive than the regular product, because you can print it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, you can reprint it.
Cannot track how many times the file is shared with someone else.
Yeah. So like what's now your pricing model? For example, I think like one of your recent launches were the vases with the very organic shapes. They're really nice. I'll put the link into the description. So like, how much is one?
30 euros.
30 euros. Nice. So, but then what do I get? I get the file, and I can reprint it as often as I want.
Yes.
Commercially?
No.
All right. So we have already a differentiation between.
Yeah, there are two price tags.
Yeah. So,
but we are still working on it and still thinking about if it's okay or not. Yeah.
How do the commercial licenses work? Because this is a huge and complicated topic. Because
yes, it is, and I also started with the commercial licenses a few years ago, and because people were asking for that, so there was a good sign for that. And yeah, we were also trying how much it should be. So this is probably the most difficult situation at this time, because I feel the prices are not very correct. Especially like as a designer, you are usually used to like having like royalty fees from the products.
Yeah,
It makes
and
some kind of sense.
often, just
But
like in
I
regular
didn't.
design, it's like per production item, right? Like if you're like an industrial designer, you get a royalty per produced item, right? Normally. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But this doesn't work here, or does it?
Yeah, I think it can, but we still like working on the new model, how it should be working, because in the past years I kind of knew that the people who are purchasing the commercial license, they're starting, so I cannot take any royalties or should not track them, because they're just starting selling few products. It didn't make some kind of sense, I think. And I also just wanted to know how it's gonna work, like if it's gonna be working for the people, if they're gonna be successful with the sales, or.
And for you as a designer, is it complicated? The problem is, if you give out a commercial license, anyone buying the license can print it, and you don't have the influence on how it's produced, because you don't have an influence on what the actual product at the end of the day looks like.
Yeah, that's a difficult situation also with other different channels, not like only with the people who have the commercial licenses. We are also started with Vulkaza platform, and that was my biggest concern, because they were like preparing it for mass production over all the world, and I was like, but I would like to track the quality if you are going to sell a lot of them. And that's also what I'm thinking about past months, how to prepare the commercial license of the product with the commercial license in the way how the real product should actually like look.
Yeah, I sometimes compared, or last time I was talking about that, I compared it a bit to a music artist. And if you're a music artist back in the day, like back in the day, and you were just playing live, you always had a control over how people hear it. But you don't know if somebody's sitting in the bathroom and having it just on his phone speaker, and there will be a worst case shitty quality. And for artists, must be as well very difficult to not be able to control it.
Yes.
So do you think it's the same, or do you think as a designer in the long run you need some kind of
But on the
control?
other side, I think very interesting thing that was happening is that I was thinking in this new way, that people who are starting producing the item, they are co-creators also, and they are also choosing their materials, and they are also. It was like 1 week or 2 weeks ago, someone was asking me if he can actually like print half of the product. I was like, yeah, it's actually a very interesting idea. I'll try it. I'm curious how it's gonna look.
Yeah, but
why not?
It's a proper question if he's allowed to. Yeah, somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good that people always like ask. Everybody who have the commercial licenses, they always ask. This is a very nice thing.
How do you cope with is there the case that you find some things online where people sell stuff where you think it's questionable if he has a commercial license?
Yes, that happens actually all the time.
Okay, so it's a bigger okay, I see, it's a bigger issue.
But it's like randomly you are scrolling and find it, or someone is actually writing you, check this kind of guy. I think like the printing world works like a community, so everybody's kind of online and checking what's happening. And when someone, and probably a lot of people knows me, so they know the product. So it happens that when someone sees something, he's like, hey, look at this website. They probably don't have a commercial license.
It's like a sales opportunity.
For many, in many cases, I was fortunately writing them, but they have. It's
okay. That's a good saying.
There are also cases where they didn't, but yeah.
I mean, as of now, most of your designs uh, th- they have a very nice design language, and it's very difficult to find a price tag. Do you think there's also some kind of space for a luxury world in that area?
Yes, we actually did it with NFTs.
Yeah.
We did this test.
How did it work?
Yeah, it actually worked. We sold some models for much more.
Okay, now this is getting interesting. So, how much can I make with with an NFT, or could I make? I don't know if the NFT bubble burst. So I don't know if it's possible today, but
I know it's not possible today. I actually didn't put much. Yeah, it was very interesting in the beginning of the NFT. It was like everybody was trying to do NFT. I also wanted to try that, but now I have much different focus.
Yeah, but and this concept was then just
it will be,
there's
it
one
will be
version
probably in the future. But yeah, there are so many things happening at the same time. I think in the printing world. So yeah, there was the vase for $350.
And then this was exclusively.
Yeah, only one.
Only one was available. Okay.
Only one was available.
Yeah, that's interesting, because this is exactly the example of decreasing the quantity available.
Yes,
and this is, I mean, what you're normally doing. And I already asked myself if you would have been so known in this 3D printing community if all your designs would have been for free. Because it's very difficult sometimes to associate a value with something if it's for free.
Yes.
Because it doesn't cost anything. So therefore, I was already asking if your model works that well because it has a price. If it's just a bit more exclusive. So this is like a really, really interesting thought, because I'm very often thinking about whether, so for example, for the brands on Enable 3D, I'm looking a lot into fashion industry, and if it's not a case, but I haven't found really good applications in the luxury market yet. But I think there has to be some approach to it, but I haven't found the right recipe yet. So, which is a bit of sad. But while we are already progressing to brands, like we are working a lot with like hardware product brands and stuff associated to it. As you are like really the expert in that field, what kind of trends are you seeing among, or like good examples from brands who have applied additive manufacturing well beyond some prototyping, and we have switched injection molding for 3D printing in our in-house production site here?
Yeah, I think it's actually a very, very long time when this company you have in your country, Maikita, started making eyewear frames, optical frames from SLS printing, using SLS printing, and they are doing it for very many years. They are probably one of the only. I don't know about many companies like that who actually included this kind of process and making like very great products from that.
Are there already?
And it obviously works for many years.
Are there already design brands going into the space, or is that something that is limited to you up to now?
Do you mean like design brands, like a product design brands?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. I would say it's starting in the fashion field at first, but I would say in the product design, no. No. I think it just starts a little bit with the people who are starting with the printing, like probably the designers who are starting making their own printed products. So you finally can see them also in this huge event like Milan Design Week. So you can see those products on some kind of stands or exhibitions. But nobody's using this technology as a regular technology in the production. And I think, there are many reasons behind that. At first, a few years ago, for example, this technology, what I'm working with, the FDM technology, the quality wasn't really something you would imagine that there could be something like a good, real quality product, right? But at this time, the quality of the printers are very, very good, together with the new high-tech materials. So the products can be actually in a very great quality. But I think the companies probably don't know that.
Yeah, but because I think it's so sad, because during the NFT hype, you saw all of the luxury brands going into it, and they were willing to sell something completely digitally without any physical counterpart involved. And I think it's really sad that there are so little branded products available in the 3D printing world. And I still don't know why. Like, for example, in the previous episode, we've been talking also about like movie companies. Like, why are like back in the days you had this kids menu at McDonald's. I don't know if it's still available, where there were always like small action figures from the most recent movies, and it's like a promotional tool. And I don't know why whenever there's a new Fast and the Furious Part 222 coming out, where they are not like promoting it like this. Like,
yes,
there could be something from the universe available for additive manufacturing.
Yes, you can sell the 3D models also for many people who already have the printers. And this is actually a very huge space. A lot of people who have the printer are actually into action figures. So, yes.
But do you think there's going to be a change in the coming years, or do you think it's still, with all of the question we've been raising with licenses and who's allowed to do what, and
yes, I actually don't know, but I was also believing for many things that actually happened. I was also believing in the beginning that the printers will be in the quality as it is right now.
Yeah,
I had to believe it. In the beginning, it was more like a geek DIY.
build it yourself.
Build it yourself. Wrong components you need to replace, etc., etc. But at this time, you can buy for a very great price a printer that actually controls everything, and the quality is awesome. So, and this also happened. So I believe yes, the future is also in this additive manufacturing. Also because I'm using it for many years and I know all the benefits.
Yeah,
all the benefits. Especially when it comes to production, there are so many benefits.
Talking about benefits and maybe disadvantages, how would you say from a sustainability point of view, do you think it's a benefit or maybe rather a hurdle for you as a designer that your products are made in the way they are currently done?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question. Yes. For me, it wasn't very easy those past years thinking, but fortunately I don't have tons of customers, right? So when it comes to sustainability, it also comes to the question how long the products sustain. This is probably one of the most important thing in 3D printing. What are the products that you are making? Some of the things that you can download for free on Thingiverse, it's something that you probably use for 1 or 2 days and throw it in the garbage bin. And when you are printing it from the newly made material, which is actually hard to recycle at this time, or maybe impossible to recycle at this time. So this also is a very difficult thing, because there needs to be more education. There needs to be more education that you don't have to buy a new film and you can buy a recycled film, and you can also buy a film and it can be compostable. There are also those very amazing options the designers was asking many years, and this is a very important topic. Sustainability is a very important topic, and it can work together with the printing because it's a great machine for working with
you don't have the
recycling.
logistics. I mean, this is already way better than like a centralized production.
And you can actually like recycle your PET bottle at home and download the tool. You can like make a filament at home from a bottle if you are very, very crazy.
And maybe at the end of the day, putting price tags to designs will also decrease this let's print something today mentality.
Yes, this is what I was. We had this conversation before when we were doing on this Enable 3D project, right? I was asking about this because I knew already that there are many people who just downloads every day, and you can see it on the downloads.
Yeah.
On calls, there are like 10,000s, 20,000s, and when you look at the product, you sometimes know that it's gonna just sustain probably 1 month.
Yeah, this is like the really big part, and the thing we are trying to dig into as good as possible is trying to find waste resources in the companies, trying to make filament out of that, and digging to that side, because maybe it's two sides of the same story. That on the one side you need to decrease the things people print, and on the other side you need to increase the part of recycled material that's used for the lower number of prints.
Yes. My biggest question last year was how the materials that are compostable works. It was very interesting, and I'm very glad that many people were doing this research. Also at home, it was very impressive to see that the filament from filamentum to non-oil, and actually after several months at home, composter actually really like breaks, which is very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. All right. Looking at the time, it's already like this 30-minute threshold I artificially set. So let's get to the last question. Olaf, from the very unique perspective you have on the industry, what's, from your point of view, like the one thing or the one trend people are, as of today, heavily underestimating?
Yeah, there are like two groups that I think underestimated, and one group is like professional designers. I think they are not much thinking about this technology as something maybe so serious.
But will they come into the space?
Yes, I was actually one of them. I wasn't, before this project, I wasn't having a printer. I was always like, yeah, what are those 3D printing geeks? And after I bought a printer, I was totally in. I was like, oh my, this is so amazing. This is so fast. And it gives you super great possibilities. And the other group is the real companies you were talking about. Yeah. Because I know that this also comes to sustainability, right? When you are producing something with the traditional methods, in order to have a very good calculation, many products you need to like make a lot of them up in front. But with 3D printing, you can actually have some kind of different model. You can actually print after the order. It's possible. A lot of new shops are just producing after they got an order, so you are not stocking and producing a lot of things that sometimes probably are not sold, right?
All right, so we're taking away designers coming into the space, and hopefully, especially for us, more brands are coming into the space and manufacturers. All right, thanks so much, Aleš, for your time and for coming over. And yeah, good luck with the further push of giving a price price tag to design online.
Thank you.